All right, so this is something you really need to understand in real life, and it is the ins and outs of emailing. Now, I know a lot of you email already and have so for many years. In fact, even in your 10th grade year, you had to email your parents constantly with regards to your grades. You had to email your updates. So you should be very familiar with it. The problem is there's some professional details you need to truly understand so that, of course, you don't look like a fool in the future. So this is the ins and outs of emailing in the real world. This is what you're going to cover. First of all, you better know the subject line guidelines. We'll talk about that quickly. There's some rules that you need to follow for your subject line. The other concern would be the format. We'll talk about how that should look the same as your business letter, but you don't need the addresses or the reply information because someone could just hit reply. What CC stands for, what BCC stands for, and what the difference between reply and reply all. It'll make a lot more sense in the next few minutes. So basically, let's just get this started. So let's go to your email account. This is my messy one. And you know that whenever you are to start an email, you hit compose and you type in the email address here. A bit of advice. Don't type the address in until you've finished the entire email text, because if you hit send by accident, you've sent the email and it is permanent. You cannot take back an email. Same thing as a text message, despite your fact that you think you can delete them. So don't type in the address yet, but that is where the address should go. And it does not matter if it's capital or lowercase. The computer only reads one format and lettering anyway. The capital or the lowercasing is just so you can understand someone's email address better. So it doesn't matter. The subject line, we need to talk. So your subject line should be, if you look here, 2-3 words max, because it needs to be one, a fit. It needs to fit into the area for your subject. In other words, when they have a crammed inbox of messages, they don't want to see 5, 6, 7, 8. They don't want to see a sentence. They want to see a couple words that pretty much are the key words in your entire email, the ones that are going to attract them and the ones that they're going to search for. So if you look at my emails here, they're very short, very sweet. They are purely descriptive and very concise. So I would suggest 2 to 3 words because, first of all, they don't have time to be searching. Second of all, they are searchable and easy to find. And it also keeps a clean inbox for them as well. Think of it as a filing courtesy. So 2 to 3 words here. And let's say that this person here, for example, is applying for a position at a bakery. So manager, or how about baker position, this person. Position, maybe they were looking for a baker position at a job at Valos Bakery. Well, this would be to the Valos Bakery email address. This would be the title, so the person knows what this email is about. And then we'll put the text in here. All right, so, and then this person could also very simply take her cover letter, which she has ready to be printed, and she could very easily copy, come up here in her text and paste her letter in here. Notice it is all the same formatting, single spaced, double between paragraphs. To whom this may concern is only used if you do not know who it concerns, if you cannot find the name at all, because it is very impressive if you can find the name to whom this does concern. But if not, this is your generic title. Same alignment, left-hand side, full block alignment, so on and so forth. If you could sign, it'd be very impressive. Now, the email address is kind of redundant, but the phone number is always essential because that's how they're probably going to get in touch with you if they're serious. So this is someone's text. So basically, when you put in a text in an email, it's the same as a business letter, same formatting. You just don't need the addresses of the companies because your email address suffices. Even if you look here at, let's look up a Mr. Superintendent email. And look at this. This is his text. This right here. I'll shrink that right down. That's a paragraph. That's a paragraph. And that's a paragraph. And that's a paragraph. So, I mean, that is actually how it goes. It's that simple. So keep the same formatting. I'll show you another one. Maybe. So let's just search. See, searching by author or searching by title. All right, so let's do an important term. Look at this. well, it's supposed to be single, but this is his text right here. Well, this is the Spanish portion. That's it. No signature, but you can always sign on an email unless you have a digital add-on. But anyway, this is it, left aligned, double between paragraphs, single spaced paragraphs. So please keep the same format. He uses hello to be more casual, which is fine. And that's how it goes. So go back to this to recap quickly before I go on to the other terms. Your subject line, this would be, I don't know, your email address would be Valos Bakery. I'm not sure what it is. Now you can type it in. And then the title, 2 to 3 words max, very succinct and key points only, and attractive so that they do read it. And the text for your email is always the same as a business letter. Keep that up, please. It's so important. And then obviously you would just send. Now, here's a few other details you need to understand. So let's create a new email. So you have your email, you have your subject, your address. Okay, fine. And then you have your subject line. So let's do a problem with a student. So say I'm going to email a parent. I'm making this up. And I have a student who is not doing his or her schoolwork. So I find the parent's email address. Again, I wouldn't put this in until after I type this out. And the subject would be John's failure English 12. Short, sweet, not even a complete sentence, but I'm pretty sure the parent would want to read this. Sometimes you put other details, but that's short and sweet. And then I say in this text, dear Ms. So-and-so, I would find out the actual name because it's very rude not to. Notice the colon here, not a comma. I say, as your child's 12th grade English teacher, I am writing because I am concerned about his whatever, so on and so forth. I could continue that and so on. And of course, I close up by saying sincerely, after having included details such as dates, grades, and assignments he or she missed, and so on. Okay, so the text is supposed to be there. But here's the thing. There's some kind of feature here called BCC and CC, and you need to know what these mean. So CC means carbon copy. It literally means carbon copy. You have to think of those little slips of paper you get when you would go to school and you bring in your excuse, your legitimate excuse, not the one your mom wrote to get you out of going to school, but the one that your legitimate excuse could have been like a sick note or a doctor note or so on. You wrote on it and it printed through to the next page or so, and then you ripped that apart and you kept the copy in the background, and then the original copy on the front, which proves you actually wrote the paper out, goes to the office. Those are carbon printed papers. The carbon imprints to the next paper. So when you send an email, there's a lot of times you want to send a copy to someone else. So carbon copying is your ability to do so. So if I were to email this parent, I am very confident that I would also be carbon copying digitally the counselor to let the counselor know I've been emailing the parent, maybe even the assistant principal. And you know what? As a 12th grader, I'll put you in on this email as well. So I would put a counselor email here. Just doing this to show you because I don't want to actually send it. And I would also put your email too, because I think you deserve to know that I'm sending emails out. And then you know what else I would do? I would also email myself, because that is going to give me a receipt back that I sent it and that it was delivered, which covers my butt. So let me recap. Original sender, this goes to the person intended. This is between the parent and myself. These people are just copied in on it. They don't have to reply at all. They could just keep the email just to know that it was sent it's also on and tagged them. It basically tagged them in on it, so they pretty much know about it. But they do not need to reply because it's not really about them. They're just getting a receipt. Could they reply? Of course they could. They can hit reply all and be included back in the loop. They do not have to. But if people want to keep records, they usually reply all, which means everybody gets a copy back versus just reply directly, which would be between the original sender and myself. Think of it as your group text. If you punch into a group text, everybody gets it. But if you take one person out and you text them privately, it's just private between the two of you. So CC is to cover your butt. Sometimes I'll send out information to companies or businesses and so on, and I'll always carbon copy myself. So I'll get a copy back, which means it was sent. Here's the proof. So it's not odd that you do this for yourself. BCC is something else. This is invalid. Hopefully you know that. BCC stands for blind carbon copy. Okay. So this is very important that you understand that you understand what is going on. So blind carbon copy is when you want to email anyone sent in this line, but you don't want anyone else to know they received it. So anyone's email address in this line here, they'll all get their own copies, but no one will see each other having gotten the copy. So let me explain. The best way to do this, think of this is, say I want to put a lawyer in on this email to this parent, and I don't want the parent to know that the lawyer got this information too. Or I don't want anyone else here to know that they got this information. So everyone gets their own copy, but there's secretly other people who received it as well, and they can't see each other who else received it. So the best way to really use this is for advertising. If you wanted to send an email to a mass amount of people, and you didn't want to type out individual emails, and you wanted to do a generic email, English class failure notice. Sometimes I send these out, and then I'll put the date. And this email will go to all the parents and students who have failed my class. They won't know who else got the email. They will only get their own individual email and only be able to reply back to me. So I will put the generic email. Potential to class, blah, 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 blah. The details, new paragraphs and details, grades coming up. Sincerely, it is my hope that this email will become redundant and that blah, 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 and you'll do better. Sincerely, okay. And then my name. This is going to everybody whom I put on this BCC line. So I'll put all the emails of the failures and the parents here. They cannot see each other's emails. They cannot tell who else got it, but it is a mass mailing. This is also great for advertising if you wanted to send one spam mail out to everybody. This is also the best way to make sure everybody gets their own copy of the email, but is not attached. So to quickly recap, let's go through this. Your address is to whom you are sending. Make sure it's detailed. Uppercase, lowercase does not matter. Don't put that in there, though, until you're finished with the email. Just a bit of advice. The CC is carbon copy. This is to give a copy to someone. The others will know that they have copy. It is a deliberate tag for emailing, and it is a great way to cover your butt. CYA, which is not butt, but CYA means to cover your butt and to make others aware of what is going on. Especially if you're ever involved in a legal situation, you always want to have someone in on the conversation. Somebody ever says, CC me in on that, that's what they mean. They want you to have them tagged in on it. Another detail will be blind carbon copy. Make sure people are in here whom you don't want to know each other, but you want to make sure everybody gets their own copy. It's great for mass mailings. And then the last one would be the subject line. Make sure it's 2, 3, max 4 words, and very attractive and searchable. And then, of course, the text would be here. That would be your text, same format as the business letter writing. The difference is you don't need a date because the date is always time-stamped in an email. It's the beautiful thing about it. You start with your introduction, your heading at the top. So make sure you start with the greeting and then your text, short and sweet. In fact, this is almost too much for an email. And then signature is very rare. You would never put a signature on it because we know who you are at your closing. And then you would hit send. So make sure I covered everything. You want subject line format, carbon copy, BCC, and make sure you know the difference between reply all. It's very important you understand the ins and outs of emailing. You guys will be using this extensively. Email is not going away. It's permanent, it's searchable, it's time-stamped, it's legal, and it's just the way of the real world.